Okay,
That's
hold
what
on.
people are saying.
Let's look at it now.
I'll share it on Facebook.
Go back to it. I want to see if you can
Yeah.
hear us on the live stream.
On the
Yeah, go back to the live stream. Let's see if you can.
just there. What?
There we go.
Okay. Where are we? Oh, so it's just. Oh, I see. You're watching. This is not us live.
This is YouTube.
This is YouTube. Okay, so that's good. So we're good.
Yep, we're good.
Cool.
We're live.
Awesome. So now this is in real. Beautiful. Look at this. This is fantastic. Wow. Hey, welcome to the Steve Square Show. Now, this is high tech, high level stuff we got going on today. We're in the studio, in Jeff's studio. Welcome, Jeff.
Yeah, thank you, Steve.
Thank you, partner, for doing great. Thank you for doing all of this. So it's funny, as I go to different people, the quality seems to keep rising. When I do the show, it's at it's probably the poorest quality. One of the worst quality shows you could see on YouTube.
It's not that.
It's bad.
All right, it's bad.
It's like watching one of those old Saturday afternoon kung fu movies. Remember those kung fu movies where the delay was? We were just talking about delay in the mouth. Nothing matched up.
Yeah.
That's close to what I put on.
We got to get you into the 21st century.
Yeah, so I'm still sitting in the 1970s, 80s, those kind of things. Then I had done a show, and the studio, the studio is always going to have it on point because they're doing it live in the studio. And then when I do it here, Jeff obviously has all of the you have all the equipment and the sound system, and the audio has to be part. You see, the bar is set very different between me and Jeff. Jeff is a man of perfection. He's a precisionist. You're an editor by trade, which editors are meticulous people. Things have to be right. Perfect.
If you can get the work, sure.
If you can get the work.
Unlike me.
You'll get the work because you're very talented. So me though, I you know me. I don't care about you people and the quality you get. Because what's more important, the quality or what they're getting, the entertainment value is what I'm giving.
Yep.
No, who cares if it comes grainy, glitchy, terrible. But you're probably enjoying this, so enjoy it. But don't get used to it. Because I'm not going to bother Jeff to continue to do this. But this is unbelievable. And even
time you want to do this,
it's fantastic. And even I love it. You see the backdrop is like a curtain. And Jeff even put that starting soon, which maybe some of you saw, the starting soon with the Steve Square placard emblem. And so the quality has definitely risen from what I give you, which is it's usually 6:31. You hear me coming from the downstairs, running, cursing. Damn it! It's 6:31. The show started. I'm not there. So how you been? What's going on? Anything new?
Not really. Weather sucks, but
well, it's just another rainy Monday, just another manic Monday, as Susanna Huff and the Bangles would say. I saw her playing Susanna Huff. She still looks great.
She looks amazing.
She is one of my favorites from the Bangles.
Yep.
She is. And speaking of one of her contemporaries, Melissa Etheridge is performing at the Paramount.
Wait, in Huntington?
Mm-hmm.
Huh? Nice.
Yeah, she's going to be performing at the Paramount.
I thought she retired.
No, she still does some local gig at the Paramount. In I think next week or the week after. I'll have to look it up. But if you guys are Melissa Etheridge fans, you can go see her. Did you like Melissa Etheridge? Are you?
Not really. She had like one or two good songs.
Yeah, there were. She had a couple of big songs. That stuff. I like Melissa Etheridge, but I do like Susanna Huff.
She gets better looking with age. My God.
Yeah, and she's still got a great same voice, same everything.
Yeah.
She's fantastic. But I always joke seems like a lot of the Monday shows are raining, and I always use then there's the Carpenters' Rainy Days and Mondays. Always get my mom is a big fan of rainy. She loves the rainy day. Love the rainy day. Wasn't that a song? The rainy nights. I don't know. It's like an old country song. I don't know. I'll write it later. Maybe I just came up with a song. But
maybe it is.
It's in my head. Speaking of weather, so let's get right to it. I was in Washington D.C. this weekend. Okay, and I know you're a big advocate for me to stop doing nonsense.
I don't get it.
Jeff doesn't get it.
I don't get it.
I went to Washington D.C. to run. I ran there. With the prices of travel, I just ran all the way to D.C. I took a bus and I did the Cherry Blossom Run, which we had been talking about for the past couple of weeks. I got new sneakers, very excited. And so the run was yesterday morning and I'm already back. With this newfangled travel now with, they have trains and bus.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. Back a while back, it would take you weeks to get back from DC. It's unbelievable this new travel they have now. I'm in DC yesterday, and now I'm sitting here in Copiague today.
Amazing.
What year? 2025.
Absolutely amazing.
It's fantastic. The stuff that we come up with is fantastic.
Yeah.
So I did run. I'm in a little bit of pain today, but overall, I would say it was worth it.
A little? You hobbled in here.
Jeff.
A little?
It's for the people. I put on a front.
All right.
I was bad. It was pretty bad. But, I got a T-shirt. I got a T-shirt and a medal. So it's very exciting.
How's the food in DC?
I brought my own. I packed up my own food. I didn't know what I would, I brought mostly my own food. So anyway, it was a good race. But what happened was I go and I pick up my race packet. And the expo, and there, you pick up your bib. They call it a bib with the race number, and that's how they time tell you. When you cross the start line, they go by the barcode on the scanner. That's how they know how your time, and then when you finish. So, I had my race. So I had Saturday. The race was yesterday morning, Sunday morning. So I tried to look around I like to see the monuments. I'm a historical buff. I love the Lincoln Memorial, the Washington Monument. So I wanted to peruse these things. And then all of a sudden I'm surrounded by thousands of, I got in the middle of one of these protests. It was a big,
Oh, you hit the protest.
I didn't know. Nobody told me. Would have been a good idea. See, this is the
Well-
problem. I don't read news. I only read the sports score.
If you keep up with what's going on in the world, you would have known that.
I
see?
again, I don't. What I keep up with if the Yankees won. That's the news. Or if any good movies are coming out. Hard hitting news, I stay away from.
You're doing that.
It brings me down, and I don't want to be brought down. So, but this probably would have been a circumstance which would have behooved me to look at what was happening in the world, because I'm in the middle of thousands of screaming people, signs, big signs, not little, big. I give it to people. I'll tell you, it takes a lot. You got to get a cardboard sign. Now you can hold the sign, or you can. Some people hammer it to a stick.
Yep.
Which is then you can hold it higher.
Then they hold the stick.
Sure. So there was a lot of that going on. Stick sign holding and screaming.
It's called a protest.
It was a protest.
That's what they do.
Now, I just wanted to see the Washington Monument, which became a problem. And I was in the middle, and people are screaming, and I didn't know what was going to happen. And but I did get to see the monument.
Okay.
And I did get to see the Lincoln Memorial. It's wonderful. Abraham Lincoln, he's sitting. Have you ever seen it?
Yeah, in a lot of movies I've seen.
Oh, yes. So I saw Lincoln. I saw the Washington Monument, and I saw a few other things. And then the run is Sunday morning. So I'm excited. They had said no headphones. No headphones. They don't want people with headphones. They wanted people not distracted by mute. But there's 20, 30,000 runners. Of course, they're not going to check each individual. That was just something on the website. But I like to run with big headphones for the surround sound. So I don't like earbuds in my ear. It just bothers me. They fall out. Yeah. So I went to Five Below, and I said, I'm going to run with music. I always do. So I'll get, wireless earbuds. And I got these at Five Below, $8. They worked beautiful. I tried them. I went on a run last week. I tried them at the hotel. They worked. They worked everywhere except when I was ready to start the race.
Of course.
And then it's just spinning to connect. And it says connection unsuccessful. And I said, please don't do this to me now. I need music to run. I need something. And no success. It wouldn't connect. So I said, well, I could just go home. I could walk out of or I could suck it up. I sucked it up.
Of course you did.
Of course I did. So I'm running. I said, well, do your best, let's go. And I started running, and not a mile into the race, behind me are two young girls talking in the annoying 20-something-year-old talk. Yeah. Who's your friend? Oh my God, Sabrina Carpenter. I love her album. You love her album? Shut up. No, you don't. Shut up. Dude, what song do you? I love that song. Shut up, you don't. No, you shut up. No, you shut up. And then they go, let's run together and we'll cross the finish. How should we cross the finish line for an Instagram post? Let's hold hands and hold it high. And then we'll post. And no, you shut up. And they're doing this for about a quarter mile before I turned around and I said, you both shut up.
That is irritating.
And if you both don't shut up, in another minute, I'm throwing you into the Potomac River. So obviously I couldn't do that because I didn't want to be taken off the race course. This is what was going on in my mind. I said, how do I really give these girls the eyeball look that they're being annoying? I said, I'm going to have to speed up my pace and get away from them.
So you didn't actually say that to them?
Oh, no. I was thought it. I know, Jeff. You would have. I didn't want to be that guy. I didn't want to be canceled from the race. So I just, I forged ahead. Finally, I lost them somewhere around mile 2 or 3. And then I continued, and I didn't have music, but running is a very mental thing. It's physical on the body, but it's mental because you have to really lock in. You can't start negative thoughts of, oh, this is tiring. Oh, I'm going to, whatever. So I tried to put myself in think of other things. I tried to at least, I can't really look around and enjoy the sights because you're running and you have to look ahead of you and see that you're running on pavement. So you don't want to twist. There could be a, broken piece of pavement, a grid or a manhole cover. You got to watch. Yeah. So you can't just be like running like this, going, oh, look at that, look at the trees.
Yeah.
And then you'll smash into somebody because it's also crowded. There's 20, 30,000 runners.
Yep.
Until it opens up. It never really opened up. You're always, and then runners, you know, you have your people that are trying to run by you and they're, excuse me, and they're bumping into you. It was a lot of bumping. This is not for you, Jeff.
No,
You're a lone wolf.
I wouldn't last 5 seconds.
You would have been really annoyed.
I will trip somebody.
Yes, you do not belong on this course. I didn't belong. I was getting annoyed. But I've had this experience. I've run races. I know how it is. You have to really be patient. But I'll tell you, really, it was, they were nice. It was a nice moment. I come down from the hotel at 5:30 in the morning, the race, 5:45, I'm going to get a lift to the spot. Now, things are blocked off, so I don't know how close I can get. I couldn't take the Washington Metro Rail. That was too far. So these 2 guys were there downstairs who were also getting ready to go. I obviously knew because they were in running gear. And so I said, oh, which lift? And then I started talking with them. It was a father and son. Very nice. And the son lived in D.C. He had run the Cherry Blossom, and the father ran. And they said, come with us. Come with us.
Nice. Look at that.
There are okay people.
They invited you in.
They said, and who would do that? First of all, I'm insane looking at 5:45 in the morning. I did not look like a normal person. But they were so nice. And I said, that was real. I said, thank you so much. So I went with them. We talked, we chatted, and they, you know, we all walked to the starting area. And, but I was way early. And it was a little chilly, but the weather was cooperative. It was very good. It was like in the 50, 60, perfect running weather.
Yep.
Jeff, it is my goal. I'm going to get you running. We are going to run a race together. Not a long one, not like a 5K. 5K. And what we'll do, I've done this with many of people that said to me, no, we'll do it this summer. Spring, summer. So
you want me to run in the summer?
Well, maybe the spring. I'll find something in the spring.
You understand I'm not getting any younger, right?
Listen, trust me on this. We'll do a 5K and we'll do the run walk principle, which I got a lot of people to do half marathons with. Where you'll jog for a minute, walk for a minute, jog for a minute, walk for a minute. And that's how you'll do the whole thing. And I've trained a lot of people to do that. That have never run a step in their lives. And they did it. Now you want to make sure, you feel, but we'll practice it. With the path that I run on, the path in Massapequa, that bike path that we biked. I'm telling you. You'll enjoy. I'm going to turn you into a runner.
I can't run on a treadmill.
Well, no, treadmills are the worst. It's like a mouse on you're not going anywhere. There's no goal on a treadmill. We're gonna do it. Well, promise me we'll enter one thing this spring or summer. I'll find a local one.
In a race?
Well, it's a run. You're not racing anybody. I mean, it's a run. It's not really called a race.
With other people?
Well, sure, yeah. I mean, unless we can find one that they'll just have the two of us run. I don't. They don't. It's funny. They don't make a lot of money when it's just 2 people in a race.
You really want me running with other people?
Sure.
Are you trying to?
You'll be fine, Jeff. You'll be fine. Look, nobody gets bothered more by people than me. I'm the most anger. I have no patience, and I do it. You can do it. You're a nice guy. I'm not. You can do it. I'm
sore for a week from an hour of yoga. You want me to do running?
Well, we'll work up to it. We'll practice. You start. Did you ever watch that Christmas time movie? Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I think it's Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
Of course.
Of course. And they come into the ice monster as their
the Winter Warlock.
The Winter Warlock. There you go. You see, Jeff is right on.
Who nears my mountain?
Right. There you go. You look like the Winter Warlock. You got the look going on.
Well, you are doomed.
There you go. So now, right on point. The Winter Warlock. What is the song they sing? Put one foot in front of the other, and soon you'll be walking out the door. I lived my whole life by that movie.
Walking. Key word, walking.
A walk turns into...
They didn't say running.
No, but we'll do the 2025 version. That movie was also made in 1911. Nobody ran in 1911, especially in the North Pole. we're gonna remake Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Jeff is coming to run.
That was the 60s, wasn't it?
Could it have been? Yeah. Well,
It
the
was
voice
60s.
was of who was the voice of Fred Astaire was oh no, it was who was the not Fred Astaire. Who was the voice? He was he had the long chin. Why can't I? Everybody knows this, right? I'm sure everybody watching knows.
The narrator?
Yeah.
Fred Astaire.
But there was another. Who's the I gotta look it up. There's the other actor, voice actor, the famous one. He was a singer too. I'll tell you right now.
I can't.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. If people, okay, let's see who it is. Well, I'm gonna be so. I know my. No, it's Fred Astaire. Yeah, definitely Fred Astaire. Mickey Rooney was a voice in that too.
Yeah, he was. Mickey
Fred
Rooney played Santa Claus in The Year Without Santa Claus.
That's right. So Santa Claus coming out right. Fred Astaire, but I'm thinking of voice.
Who else narrated?
Oh, maybe it was Frosty the Snowman. No, it's not Frosty the Snowman. It's the other. There's the other famous guy that always does. What was some of the other famous movies?
Well, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Was it Rudolph? Maybe it was Rudolph.
Santa Claus Coming to Town. Year Without a Santa Claus.
I think maybe it was Rudolph.
Frosty the Snowman.
Burl Ives.
Burl Ives. There you go.
That's who I was trying to think.
Silver.
There you go. Silver.
Burl Ives, baby.
Silver. That's who. That was the name I couldn't think of.
He played the snowman.
Right. That was the voice I was trying to think of. Burl Ives. Right. But it was Fred Astaire too. The great name. If I had a name like that, I would have went a lot further in life.
Mm-hmm.
I could have did so much better in life with a name like Burl. You don't find a lot of Burls anymore.
You don't.
you just don't. Nobody has a baby and names him Burl.
He may have been the last one.
And the only one.
Yeah.
Can you name me another Burl?
No.
It's not even something you would change your name to as an actor.
Not even close.
That's the run. So bottom line, you're gonna do it.
Did you win?
Did I win? What do I look hanging?
How did you finish the story? How did you finish?
Well, I finished. That's how I finished the story. I finished. I completed it.
In first or 50th?
50th? It was 30,000 runners. I don't know. I mean, I could look on the website. They'll post where you were.
A pro runner.
I wouldn't say a pro. I mean, look, watch the New York City Marathon. Those people are pro runners. The ones that cross the finish line in an hour and a half and run the marathon like they're driving a car. They could beat most people running that are driving a Kia Soul. But no, they first of all, people are start off in different waves. You're in different corrals. They don't just start 50,000 people. Yeah,
wait.
Yeah, you got to wait. So maybe I was in orange. There's blue. There's yellow. There's different colors of waves of people. Initially, they start with the elite women, which are the pro runners. Then the men. Then they start other people and so wheelchair competitors. And there's different segments. And so that nobody's winning. You're just trying to complete. I mean, somebody won. Yeah, I guess.
What the hell's the point of the race then?
Well, it's all about. Well, it's about your personal, best. You're running against. Yeah. Did you maybe some people try to get their PR? Everybody's looking at their watches to try to get their person. Maybe they were competing against their best time they've ever had. I just like to complete them in one piece. That's what I'm trying to do. Okay. So what's the point? The point is the gorgeous medal that I got.
Oh, you got a medal.
I should have brought it.
You got a medal.
Well, there you go. Of course, that's the point.
Here, right there. All right. You got something.
Oh, sure. And I got to see Washington, D.C.
Who cares about that? But,
well, something. It's nice to try. It's nice to get off Long Island.
Sure, but Washington's not somewhere I want to go.
Well, I stayed in Arlington, Virginia. Yeah. Didn't get to see much, but I was technically in Arlington. I was technically in Virginia, I should say.
All right. Well, good.
So, did you know, this is interesting, I was reading this. Apparently, now we know Gene Hackman passed away.
Yes,
we talked about that.
Was that weird?
The whole story was odd. And I just read that they're not letting their bodies be viewed or something. I don't know why. They're still investigating.
Well, yeah, because they were.
But I thought they found out how they died.
They did. The wife had hantavirus. actress.
Right.
She died, and a week later he died.
Well, nobody was taking care of him.
Well, yeah,
And he was a
exactly.
90s, so he needed somebody.
Yeah,
so
plus he had Alzheimer's,
right.
And then the dog died.
And then something with the dog. Right. It was a complete chaos.
So they were dead for a while.
Right. At least like a week or something.
They were rigor mortis for like a week.
Right.
So there's no viewing.
There was no, I guess not. But they did have, and I like Gene Hackman. I love Gene Hackman. Great movies, great actor. Now apparently it says here Gene Hackman was considered for the role of Mike Brady in the Brady Bunch.
Really? In the series of really?
The series, yeah.
I can't imagine that. Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman as the role. Now, did you ever think of movies? Now,
Gene Hackman as like Brady. That's weird.
Well, this is a picture of him in 1973, and that was when the 70. This is right when the. So if you can see here, that's a picture of Gene.
I don't think he's wholesome enough.
Yeah, he's a little tougher, a little edge to him. I mean, he could do comedic, but yeah, he's not the dad. Yes. He's not the American dad, especially back then. He just did the French Connection.
Yeah, really.
He's doing hard-hitting, gritty dramas. I think
he's not that guy.
No, he's not that guy. He's great in the Birdcage. He could do comedy, but no, he wasn't a sitcom dad. So it just shows you the patheticness of casting. That's my point. Why I bring that up is I was watching a podcast of the actor Corey Feldman.
Mm-hmm.
You know Corey Feldman. Yeah. He's had drug problems and he's whatever. He's a troubled kid. He did some cute movie, Goonies, and all the Stand By Me, and all the
and he was in Friday the 13th.
And Friday the 13th. Mm-hmm. So he's doing a podcast with the guy from Billy Corgan. The musician,
Billy Corrigan.
Corrigan, thank you. I massage people's names. I think you're right. Cora something.
I'm pretty sure it's Cora.
He's the lead singer in
some band I can't stand.
Not 1970. 1979 was the song they did. Not Smashing Pumpkins.
In some 90s annoying, irritating band.
Yeah. Well, no, their band's earlier than the 90s. They were from I don't know any of this. Whatever band he was from. So he's doing the podcast and he's talking to Corey Feldman. And Corey Feldman's like, he tells him he was up for the part in What's Eating Gilbert Grape, the part that Leonardo DiCaprio got.
Corey Feldman
was up. He said he had it, and he said, but Johnny Depp, who plays the older brother that's taking care of the family, you've seen What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
Not in a long time.
And you have seen it, right?
I probably have.
Okay,
I know of it.
Yeah. So Leonardo was great in it. Plays he's the son is on the spectrum. He's challenged. He's got a lot of mental disabilities and everything. And Leonardo did a great job. And so Corey Feldman saying he was cast in that role initially, and Johnny Depp got him out because of he felt that he was friends with River Phoenix, and he felt that Corey was a bad influence on River Phoenix. And he said he didn't want a junkie on the set, meaning Corey Feldman. Now, this movie was in the early 90s. Johnny Depp was pretty young.
Yeah.
A studio's not giving Johnny Depp full casting. He wasn't Johnny Depp yet.
Yeah, no one's going to listen to Johnny Depp.
You know what I'm saying?
Back then.
Maybe now he can say something if he's doing a Pirates. But what did he do? The TV show? Yeah. And that was it. 21 Jump Street. So he's gonna do 21 Jump Street. They're giving him a movie. Who should we cast, Johnny? Like a studio. So Corey Feldman says this, and he says Johnny Depp got him out. And then he says, this is even better. So then Corey Feldman says, and he goes, and me and Leonardo's paths would also cross. And he goes, this is why Leonardo's career took off and mine didn't.
Oh, come on.
Then he goes one step further, and he says he was up for the role of Jack in Titanic.
No, he wasn't.
He tells Billy, and you can see Billy is like listening to him, and he's like, okay. And he goes, and what happened there? And he goes, well, they went with Leonardo. He goes, but you could see if, I was literally very close to that role too. He goes, well, what does very close mean? Everybody's very close. Yeah, if you go audition for something. But I think there's something wrong with Corey Feldman.
Corey, you ain't that good, brother.
Yeah. So he says, this is why. I mean, obviously Leonardo's an actor and Corey Feldman's insane. So there's a difference.
Yeah.
Mike Brady. So my point is, so I'm talking about people that think, but we see movies and then we always say, I can't picture anybody else being Michael Corleone. I can't picture anybody else being, certain roles. Is there any movie that you have seen that you thought somebody else would have been better in? That was a hit movie or something where you said,
I have.
Who?
I think Leonardo DiCaprio would have been much better as Anakin Skywalker in the Star Wars prequels.
In the Star Wars prequels. And instead of they used
Hayden Christensen.
Hayden Christensen. Okay.
DiCaprio would have been so much better.
Okay. Now, there's a lot of, I like to listen to these stories of people that had turned down or certain movies and they're pretty interesting. There was it John I think it was John Cryer was talking to Howard Stern, but Jason Bateman talks about how his career, he wasn't even acting. When he did Teen Wolf, he said that debacled his whole career. Teen Wolf, when he did Teen Wolf 2, because Michael J. Fox was Teen Wolf 1. He was the second one. He said it was the worst career. He said it took him out of. He goes, I almost he almost became a barista at a Starbucks. He goes, I was just gonna move and leave Hollywood, leave everything. He goes, I couldn't get another part. He was like, I was basically off the spec. And I like Jason Bateman, but you take things. I think it's hard to look back and say. And he was young. Like, you have people that make decisions. He was 20, 19. Like, he's had a pretty solid career. He got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Yeah, he's not bad.
He's a great.
Everybody makes a bad decision someday. But Corey Feldman.
Yeah, everybody. I mean, good. Look, I was also up for the part of Titanic as well.
Absolutely.
I just didn't go to the audition, and I had the wrong day.
I was supposed to be John Wick.
You were going to be John Wick. I remember that.
Piano beat me up by that much.
Right. And I was also cast as the third son in Different Strokes. They were initially going to go with 3 kids. They were going to go with 2 black kids and a white kid. And I was going to be the brother to Dana Plato. But, and I had a cameo in Three's Company. I was supposed to be the landlord in Three's Company.
Nice.
Yeah, but that got debacle too. I had a lot of roles. There was a lot of shows I was going to be in.
Did you know Tom Selleck was going to be Indiana Jones?
He was going to be Indiana Jones, but he picked.
How horrible would that be?
He had picked. He opted for, or I don't know who was the final decision or where, but he was thinking more TV, and he never became a movie star. He was a TV.
He was a TV guy,
which he does great with TV. I'm sure he does make many money. He was Blue Bloods, right? He's had a career on that. Yeah. And all of the.
Can you imagine just him as Indiana?
I think it. I don't know if it would have been as successful. It probably would have been good because Spielberg would have made it good. Mm-hmm. But it wouldn't have been what Harrison Ford obviously made of it.
Wouldn't have made it past readers.
Right. I think you would have had the initial. It probably would have been interesting and a movie, but to have it the longevity that it's had and that franchise, obviously Harrison Ford took it. But there's a lot of those casting things. There was that. What was that movie that? John Travolta was going to get, or it was between him and the other actor that's in all those vacation movies that plays the with Chevy Chase. He plays the
Cousin Eddie.
Cousin Eddie. Can't think of his. He's the brother to what's his face. So he was. I can't think of the guy's name. He was in that. They were in up for a second, but those are interesting stories when you hear people that are. I always find that. But I couldn't see Gene Hackman as Mike Brady.
Oh, no. Never. No. Never in a million years.
No, that wouldn't work. Christy Brinkley's got a book coming out. Did you see this? Christy Brinkley.
Why?
I can tell already what thought you land on.
Why?
Oh, and not only that, she has May 7th. If you want to see Christy Brinkley, I know you do.
Absolutely.
She will be, and it's only $50.
Really?
It's going to be a talk through Newsday at the Lit Fest. Presents an evening with supermodel, not just a model.
Supermodel.
She's a supermodel, like Superman.
Sure.
She's supermodel, Christy Brinkley.
She's from the era of supermodels.
And author Christy Brinkley.
Why does she need $50?
She's going to be in a discussion, and her book's coming out, Uptown Girl.
Shocking.
Get it?
Yes. Shocking. Where did she get that from?
Well, I'm sure that's in litigation. I'm sure Billy will sue her up, the old wazoo. The book features more than 100 photographs and never before seen pieces of Christie's original artwork. She's quite the artist.
Really?
Well, it says there.
Was she a painter? What is she?
It says never be seen before Christie's original artwork. I don't know if she's a painter, a sketcher, a drawer. She's not just a pretty face. You put her in a box. Don't put baby in a box.
Oh, look out.
You know what movie that's from, right?
Yes.
My whole life is quoting. I lead my whole life by using the Warlock from Winter Wonderland. I have no thoughts on my own. Every advice I give to somebody is a line from a movie. The way I live my life.
Oh, I'm the same way.
Talk to friends. It's like, that's it. I'm the bastard son of Cliff and Claire Huxtable. Remember with Jim Carrey? He goes, my real name is Chip Douglas, but that's beside the point. And he goes, we got to get out of here.
Yes, I will not be going to see Christy Brinkley. I don't care about her.
Let's go. I want you to change. You're going to run. You're going to see Christy with me. $50. Fork it over.
Not getting my $50. I don't have $50.
Oh, yes, you do.
And where is it anyway?
The Newsday Studios. Apparently, Newsday has a.
Where? Oh, Long Island over here.
Yeah, it's Yeah, Newsday has these discussion things in their own studio. They have like a studio which seats whatever amount of people. Not a lot of people.
I don't know how the hell they're still around.
Newsday, yeah. Well, they are. I'm their sole subscriber because I use them for the show. They're a proud non-sponsor of the Steve Square Show.
Nice.
As is Celsius. Now, what I'm a little worried. You don't have a Celsius in your hand.
I don't.
What are you stopping or what's happening?
No, they're too expensive.
But I think Stop and Shop has two for $4. You can get them. $2 a can.
It's still too expensive.
Look, for a severe addiction, there's no price on addiction. That's what I say.
Okay.
I'm addicted to. I'll pay anything.
I do love Celsius.
There you go.
Celsius gets my thumb up.
So you know what? Stop paying your bills.
But your prices are.
Well, how much would you? I think $2 for a can of Celsius.
It's too much.
Really?
For a 4-pack, $8, $10 for a 4-pack of that.
Yeah.
It's too much for me.
The band The Stray Cats, you might have heard of.
Yes, absolutely.
The Massapequa Stray Cats. You all know Stray Cats. Stray Cats Strut, Rock This Town.
Love
Brian Setzer.
His solo career was amazing.
He had a great solo career. Still does, I think.
Yeah, but he's sick now.
He's sick now, but apparently the drummer, Big Slim Jim Phantom. Remember Slim Jim Phantom?
Slim Jim.
Slim Jim. Had to cancel. He had a show April 15th at My Father's Place in Roslyn.
Never.
You never heard of My Father's Place?
No.
Big. It's big. My Father's Place started so many careers of Long Island artists, musical artists. It's a big, big place. It's like renowned. And so he was performing there, which I'm shocked because I don't know how much of a career he has. That's usually for a little bigger, but I mean, he's still a name, or Stray Cats are a name. It says the Massapequa native was sidelined by a medical issue. He says, I have a bad knee. This is the problem. These guys used to be, I mean, at the apex. They were the Stray Cats, right? Leather, cool. Now he's got to cancel for a bad knee.
Now he's got a bad knee.
I can't perform. My knee hurts. I mean, it just gets sad. Everybody gets older, and now they used to be able to. Where were the days where you could have 15 sleepless nights on a cocaine binge and go out and perform? No problem.
Well,
no problem.
What is it, like 70 years old now? This guy?
I mean, they're in their late 60s, probably mid 65 to 70 range. Yeah.
It's about when it starts.
But Mick Jagger's still doing his thing.
Well, Mick Jagger's.
I mean, that guy can't be stopped.
Mick Jagger's not fucking human. I'm sorry.
It's just crazy. And it says, I've had a cortisone injection in my knee. This is just terrible. This guy was I've had a cortisone injection in my knee. The doctor advised me that if I want to avoid surgery, I should lay off playing for a while.
You don't drum with your knee.
It says it'll heal up in time.
You know what? If the guy from Def Leppard can drum with one arm, he can drum with
Exactly.
one knee.
It says Phantom, who also sings with his wife, bassist Jenny V, and guitarist Jimmy Dale. They're a trio. And they were going to sing some Stray Cat hits, which there was only one. So I don't know how many times you could play Stray Cat Strut. No, I know they had Rock This Town.
Sexy and 17.
Sexy and 17. Yeah, they had a few. They were good. They were going to do some Buddy Holly, Eddie Cochran, Elvis Presley, Gene Vincent, and Johnny Burnett. Johnny Burnett.
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him. Setzer 65 has also cited he has a disease that has affected his fingers. He's got an autoimmune issue going on.
Really? It's autoimmune.
Yeah, so he's got a little dexterity on the hands, feeling and stuff, which is very. This is, he's playing a guitar, so
that I can understand canceling a show for.
Right? No, that's a huge thing. No, the knee. I mean,
a knee. Get over it.
I just ran close to a half a marathon on one foot.
Yeah, really. There you go.
Come on, get up, Big Slim Jim.
There you go.
Can't believe it. That's embarrassing.
It is. It's shameful.
Embarrassing and shameful. Do you know when the first Lollapalooza was? Remember Lollapalooza?
Sometime in the 90s.
Give me a date. Come on.
1996-ish.
The first ever show of the first ever Lollapalooza took place on July 18th, 1991.
Yeah, 5 years old.
On a 120-degree day in the Arizona desert.
Ugh.
You would love that. It was so hot that the 9 Inch Nails equipment melted, and frontman Trent Reznor stormed off dramatically after trashing the stage. All his guitar and amps burned and melted.
It's your own fault for going to Arizona. 120 degrees.
It also said the members of Jane's Addiction. You remember Jane's Addiction?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They came to blows. Heat'll make people crazy.
They were having heat stroke.
Heat stroke will make. I'm telling you, I had it last week. I can attest. It just makes you insane.
And you want me to go running in the summer?
No, not the summer. Springtime. So there's a book coming out about Lollapalooza, and it's called Lollapalooza: The Uncensored Story of Alternative Rock's Wildest Festival. Were you with those bands, 9 Inch Nails, Jane's Addiction?
No,
it seemed like it was those alternative bands.
I can't stand
That's not your thing.
I can't stand
You're Black Sabbath, Metallica, Judas Priest.
Yeah, that's me. I'd never liked alternative.
Alternative, no, it's not your.
One or two songs here.
Maybe there, yeah, right.
The 90s was not a good decade of music for me.
I liked it. I like grunge. I was into I like grunge stuff.
Alanis Morissette. I'll give the 90s that.
Okay. Well, a lot of angry women in the 90s.
Yeah.
Seemed like there was one after the next. Not a lot of happy women in the 90s. But at least they put it out in their guitars.
But no, those weren't my bands.
Interesting. What is this? And speaking of performing, here he is, John Fogerty.
Oh, Fogerty's still around?
Guess how old he turned? Or is turning?
70-something.
80.
80. Fogerty's 80.
John Fogerty, Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Yeah.
80 years old, and he's performing. And he's celebrating it at where? John Fogerty will be celebrating it at Manhattan's Beacon Theater.
Yeah, the Beacon.
General public tickets go on sale Friday at 10 a.m. John Fogerty.
And they're probably overpriced tickets.
I would assume so. Have you ever seen the rain? I want to know. Yeah, John Fogerty. And it says here, on July 2nd, Levittown, Long Island emo heroes. They call them heroes? I don't know about that. You know, what is emo? What form of music was emo? Wasn't there, remember, emo music?
No. I know the term emo.
Right, but it was something
stupid.
Lasted about a week, right?
Yes.
So apparently these two guys haven't left it alone. Long Island emo heroes. I don't know why they're heroes. Brand New will play. The name of the band is Brand New. It's a bad name for a band.
Yeah.
Will play Elmont's UBS Arena on July 2nd. The band announced Monday. Really?
They got to be opening for somebody.
It says the show will be the last of a 24-day tour that begins in May 30th in Seattle.
No one's going to see that.
Someone's going to see this.
It's impossible.
Someone's going to see this. I know who's not going to see this.
Yeah.
This guy right here.
Yeah, I won't be
this
there.
guy right here. But someone's going to see it.
Because they ain't Brand New anymore.
Formed in Levittown in 2000. Brand new, helped turn Long Island into ground zero for the emo rock explosion. I wouldn't say emo rock was an explosion. I would say it was more like a firecracker.
Nobody knows about it.
Nobody knows what emo is. If I asked 4,000 people what emo is, they won't. They'll think it's that either that fish,
Yes.
Finding Emo,
Yes. Finding Emo.
or something like that.
No one knows their name.
No one knows it. This is terrible, and I can't believe. And of course, Newsday would devote a whole segment to this stupid band. Unbelievable. I try, Newsday. Look at me. If you're watching, I try so hard for you, but you make it hard. You shoot yourself in the foot every chance you get by devoting sections of this. Ugh, this is terrible.
Yeah.
So there's a big game tonight. I know you're not a super college fan, basketball.
I am not a
I know you're not.
sports fan of any kind.
I know you're
except for I might watch college hockey.
Okay.
I might.
College. You're a hockey guy.
Yes.
I'm a basketball guy, and tonight is the championship game. Now,
College basketball.
college basketball. Now, why is the NCAA championship? Now, I'm pleased. I wanted St. John's, obviously, and they got knocked out early,
Okay.
second round. Disappointing. But I loathe the way you loathe a lot of things in life. I hate Duke.
That's rough.
I don't like Duke. I don't like them.
Mm.
They annoy most people.
That's hate.
Oh, I hate them. I don't dislike them. I hate them. And they lost Saturday to the Houston Cougars. So now I'm rooting for Houston tonight. That's really the only reason. I have no love for either team. It's Houston versus Florida.
Mm.
Both have the same record, 35-4, great teams. So it should be a good game. They both play an entertaining style of basketball, very fast, up-tempo.
Mm.
So it should be pretty interesting. It's at 8:30 on your local CBS dial.
Okay.
So you might want to peruse it. I know you won't.
I won't.
Maybe for a minute.
I won't.
Okay.
Not at all.
I can't talk Jeff into anything. Running. Basketball.
Yep.
College sports. Buying Celsius. I'm trying to get you addicted to something. And it's not working.
Buying Celsius.
I know. I did get you hooked.
Yeah, I love it.
I know.
Celsius, it gets 2 thumbs up for me. It's great.
I'm gonna buy you next. I'm gonna buy you some Celsius.
Lower your prices.
They're not watching. Don't forget, Celsius is another proud non-sponsor of the Steve Squared Show. I don't have any proud sponsors. Why is Brandy Carlisle playing with Elton John so much now?
I don't know. Why is she back? I don't understand. Who likes Brandy Carlisle?
Where was she? Who was she? Just a solo artist, or was she in a band?
I know.
I get her confused with Belinda Carlisle.
Yeah.
Who was the Go-Go's?
I've heard of her as a solo artist. I don't know if she's ever with a band.
Right. So,
but why does anybody like her? I don't get it.
Elton does.
Elton likes everybody.
He does. He's that.
Elton John likes Metallica.
Yeah, he'll play with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen him play with. He'll play with Dolly Parton,
Sure.
Miley Cyrus. He'll play with. He doesn't care.
I don't know I don't get the whole fascination with Brandy Carlisle.
I don't either. But Jack Black hosted Saturday Night Live this past weekend. Did you see it? I didn't see it. Was it good?
I don't watch that.
Me neither.
I watched the 50th anniversary.
Yeah, which was also a little disappointing.
And they did the cowbell.
Yes, that of course.
They
They
did
got to
that.
do it. Yeah. I mean, what was disappointing was the music one they did. Remember the music one of 50 years of Saturday Night Live?
Yeah.
That was a little because they didn't really show the music. They were, So Jack Black and Elton John and Brandy Carlisle were the musical hosts on that. I didn't even see it. I'm gonna have to check it out. So I can't talk about it, but
I don't get Jack Black either.
I like Jack Black. A School of Rock was funny. No, King Kong.
Yeah, that's right. Jack Black was in King Kong.
That was good.
That was a great movie.
That was a good role for him.
He was also pretty good in House with a Clock in
House with the Clock in the Walls.
That was really good.
I like that. Yeah. So those kind of he's got Shallow Hal. It's kind of funny.
Never saw that.
Shallow Hal. You never saw that? So Shallow Hal, he is Jason Alexander is his best friend in it, and he only sees women for their beauty, their physical beauty, not what's inside of them, and he's really fixated on that. So he gets stuck in an elevator with Tony Robbins.
Oh my God.
The motivational speaker. Don't talk bad about Tony. I also lead my life by Tony Robbins. I need a lot of help from different
Motivational
people.
speakers.
Yeah. Look, it's gotten so bad I even watch Joel Osteen on the weekends. Look,
My God,
I'm all in.
what's the matter with you?
I'm all in. I told this
You
on
don't really watch that.
I told this 2 weeks ago. I'm searching for a cult to follow. I haven't found a good one yet, but if you hear of one, I'm open.
I can tell you about one right now, but let's not talk about that.
I'm open for any and all. And if any of us interested of coming on the Steve Squared Show, by all means, please. We're looking for guests all the time.
It wants to be in a cult.
Is it an occult or a cult?
A cult.
What's a cult?
A cult.
But what's an occult? Like OCU? Isn't there another word? An occult?
That's like black magic.
Right.
Type of stuff.
That would be open to that too.
Mm.
Either way, whatever you have, I need help.
All right.
So Tony Robbins gets stuck in an elevator with Jack Black's character, Hal, and he tells them, he goes, I'm going to make you see women for what's inside of them, the beauty inside. And he kind of does this hypnotist thing on him. And then he falls in love with this enormously heavy world, but he can't see her as enormously overweight. He only sees her. And that's why it's called Shallow Hal.
Okay.
It was a cutie rom-com stupid movie, but I like Jack Black. We were talking a little historical, and this is going to be really interesting to you. I don't know if you're a history guy.
I like history.
You do.
Sure.
I found something you like.
Oh, yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Thought this was going to be a long show. How we do? I don't even know how we're doing.
No idea.
Oh, we're doing good. Apparently, they now have an AI. It's where is this at? At the right. I can't even pronounce this. The Raham Museum in Oyster Bay.
Okay, never heard of it.
Oh, you never heard of Oyster Bay?
I never heard of the museum.
I'm kidding. Will unveil. So this museum in Oyster Bay is going to unveil a George Washington. It's a whole George Washington GW chat on April 24th. This AI version is called the most realistic to date of any AI subject figure that they've had. You can ask it questions. You can have a conversation. He's going to hold a speech on this day. He's going to do some of his historic speeches. So in case you missed it, maybe you weren't there in 1776.
I may have missed it.
If you weren't there, because he was on CNN all over the place in 1776.
I slept late that day.
If you remember, CNN covered his crossing of the Valley Forge.
Yes.
It was all over CNN. Don Lemon was all over it. Don Lemon had a job then. Not like today. Right now, I think he's working at Starbucks now.
Yeah.
Giving his opinion on coffee grinds.
That's all he's good for.
He's like, this coffee is a little bit strong.
We can go talk to George Washington.
We can go. Now, so here it is. It's frightening how close it looks like George Washington.
Mm-hmm.
They said they've really, it said an AI version of Washington will be introduced. The 18th century home, this is an 18th century home of the Townsend family, now a town of Oyster Bay Museum. Developers call this digitally enhanced version of the first president will deliver a speech and then answer questions.
A whole speech?
Oh, sure.
Who's writing his speech?
I don't know. This is the latest evolution in the digital technology the museum has incorporated. It says, it's to, it says, so this person says this is calling it arguably the most realistic rendering of George Washington to date. I don't know why they can say that. The image is based on a life mask cast by Jean-Antoine Houdon, a French sculptor who was commissioned to carve a statue of Washington in 1784. So they took this template, and that's what they did. So if you could talk to George Washington, which you will now be able to, apparently. Any questions for George? Any questions?
Why the hell did men wear wigs back?
That's a good question. You could look that up. It was something to do with powder, because they powdered their wigs. It was, I think it was more of a political look.
Powdered wigs, high heels, makeup.
You just described one of the bands that you love, Judas Priest. You just described my
Heights.
favorite band, Judas Priest. That's no different than what half your bands that you love come out dressed in on Madison Square Garden. What are you talking about, Jeff? For God's sake, you're an open guy. Come on, what's a wig?
Why didn't you just let Britain keep us?
I wouldn't have liked that. I hate the British accent. I can't even watch that series Adolescent, let alone be run by them. I would ask George. I would say George. How do you brush those teeth? How do you eat? What's the best food to eat when you have wooden teeth? This is very interesting.
That I might.
We should go and see this.
Check out.
We could check this out.
You might get me to go.
Now Washington is all up, and they're doing a whole. When I was there, they're putting hundreds of trillions, cotillions of dollars into renovations of all the monuments. The whole city is up and ready because next year, 2026, marks the 250th anniversary of our country. It's the 250th birthday.
Nice.
So it's going to be a huge event.
Yeah.
So
sure
DC it's all getting it ready.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to look good. 250 years old takes a lot of work to look good.
It's got to
when you're that age.
Absolutely.
You know, you can't just when we were younger, when the America was 5 years, 10 years, you get up, roll out of bed, you're fine.
Yeah.
When you're 250 years old, you need trillions of dollars worth of work. Just ask Dolly Parton.
Yeah, really.
She said cotillions of dollars. She's actually 250 years old.
$4.
I don't make fun. I love Dolly Parton. Finally, this woman never stops making money. She prints money. She's coming out with a line of clothes, Jolene's.
Oh my God.
Stop it.
Stop.
She's coming out with her own jean line, Jolene Jeans.
It took her, what, 80 years?
I would think that. That's what I thought. Exactly. I said, how could they just come up with this now? This would have been great in the 70s.
Wow.
I mean, she wrote that song in like 68. It took them until 2025 to be like, oh, jeans. Yeah, that's good.
Who needs that?
Jolene Jeans. No? No. You're so
thank
angry.
you. Yeah.
I love Dolly. They just cast the Beatles for the biopic movie that's going to be released. The cast is set.
I know nothing of this.
This is a movie. Hollywood studio executives are making their case for the With a Little Help. It's a movie, I think it's called With a Little Help, from John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, Ringo Starr, and along with the newly announced stars to play them. Sony Pictures kicked off the tour by telling who was going to be playing these 4 characters. They are Paul Mescal.
Oh, really? Paul Mescal? Who's he playing?
He will be McCartney.
And
Well, the name is the same, the first name.
Paul
I think that's why they're doing it. Because he's got the same first name.
Mescal.
Joseph Quinn as Harrison. George Harrison. Joseph Quinn. Barry Keoghan. Keoghan? I don't know who that is. As Ringo Starr.
Okay.
And Corey Feldman as John. Imagine other people.
No.
No, it's not. It's he was up for all 4 parts. But apparently, he's a terrible actor, and a drug addict, so they cut him. He almost got it, but he's terrible and he's horrible and he's no talent. So they said, "You know how close you were? You were this close to getting kicked off the lot." Harris Dickinson. Harris Dickinson.
Never heard of him.
I haven't heard of. Yeah.
No idea.
Other than Paul Mescal, I haven't heard of any of these people. As Lennon, director Sam Mendes. Sam Mendes is directing.
Okay.
The movies will premiere. Wow, it's still a ways away. April 2028.
Is this streaming or in the theater?
I don't know. It's calling it the first bingeable theatrical experience. It's 4 movies they're doing. So yeah, it says it's 4 films. He said, "I've been trying to make a story about the Beatles for years," Mendes says. So that's it.
Okay.
So there's never been a Beatles movie? I guess no, not like with people playing them. Everything's documentary.
Yeah, I've never seen anybody actually playing
a Beatle.
I've
Right?
never seen that.
Yeah. Just in case, this is just a little bookkeeping. Did you ever get a red light camera ticket in Suffolk County?
I have.
Well, you're going to get money back.
Sweet.
Yeah, it seemed that Suffolk County has illegally
I knew it.
charged extra fees in these red light tickets. So everybody, it's $91 million in illegal fees they charged.
I'm
Not
rich.
just to you.
Oh,
You're not getting a check for $91 million. You'll
What
probably
the
get a
hell
$9 check.
great.
But it says the exact sum Suffolk collected in extra $30 fees. So you would get $30 back for each ticket.
Okay. Wow. Big $30.
Oh boy. And Nassau charged $50 overs. So they're in their own court battle. But this is a Suffolk County where they just came to a settlement or something like that. You can't arrest the whole county. You can't put Suffolk County in jail.
Unfortunately.
So I wanted to have something else for you. I got something else for you, Jeff. Oh, this is a sad story. I don't like to bring you down. You're a very upbeat guy. Jeff is a very upbeat guy. If you ever met Jeff.
Can you tell?
Yes. So it seems here, and I feel bad saying this without first taking a sip. Speaking about Washington, history, our country, what we are as people, what we stand for, everything that's great about us. And one of our most cherished institutions has filed for bankruptcy and will no longer be operating.
Compose yourself.
Apparently Hooters is going to be closing.
Well, damn. How am I going to go on?
Hooters restaurant, the long established. This is not a joke. This is actual information. It seems that in the latest legacy of restaurant chains to close,
what the hell's the world coming to?
Hooters has now become the latest victim.
It's over.
Of what's happening to America.
Civilization is over.
Forget Social Security. Forget your anger about Medicaid or anything else you're screaming and protesting about.
Forget about the stock market plunging, but
I will be out there tomorrow rallying to save this historical institution. They've done everything else I've turned a blind eye to. See? I could get on with my life.
There you go.
You want to take my rights, free speech? I don't care.
Don't take Hooters.
Once you take Hooters, now you got to fight with me.
Now we got a fucking problem
here. It says the Hooter girls, waitstaff, and their restaurant group are going to be out on their you-know-whats. They're going to be out on their Hooters. Because Monday they filed Chapter 11, which is the worst chapter in a book anyway, by the way. Yeah, when you get to Chapter 11, if you read my book on Jack Lane, you'll notice I stop at Chapter 10. Because you don't want to go to Chapter 11. It never ends well. It seems here that, and this I don't believe, it says it's into financial trouble amid high food and labor prices and also just changing customer tastes. Stop that. You're really lower that bar.
Tastes.
Our country, you're giving too much credit to our country now, saying that they're not interested in this anymore. They're not interested in the Hooters.
How it tastes in
wings. Yeah, their wings and the whole scam of it. The whole idea of scantily dressed women serving fried chicken wings.
How do you get bored of that?
That's my point exactly. Now, Sony Pictures is now developing, starring Corey Feldman as the founder of Hooters. It seems here they're going to be doing the Hooters story.
Oh, he's not playing one of the Hooters?
No, he's actually the founder of Hooters, Johnny Hooter. Johnny. It says here, filming will begin. Casting, they're doing an open cast call. I'm actually going next week. It's an open casting call. I'm hoping to get on the waitstaff on this. Red Lobster, TGI Fridays, and Busca di Beppo all filed for bankruptcy, along with the Tex-Mex chain On the Border. Did you ever eat it On the Border?
No.
They're another, like a Tex-Mex chain. They're all filed for bankruptcy.
I'm not surprised by Red Lobster, because who the hell goes there anymore?
It's nothing like a $5 lobster. Right out of the Brentwood River. I'm telling you, there is nothing that the taste of melted butter over a dirty, infested $3 lobster right out of the swamp of the Wyandanch Pond.
Yeah.
It's delicious. Jeff, come on.
That's
You have
fine.
no taste. You don't
Fine dining, right?
You don't. You don't. No. This is the last time we're doing a show together. I don't know. I think that we should end the show on that. Yeah, it's 7:32. And just yeah, I think you got to end it on that. I think that's where you end it. I'm going to end it on that because I think there's no story that could top that. And at least in my world, in my circle, I'm ending it on that.
Okay.
I want to thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I want to thank you. You're always welcome. I always like when we do a show together and we get together and create something, which this was. Falls under something category.
My studio is here whenever you want to bring it back.
This, I'm telling you, the production quality, I feel bad because now people are going to expect this all the time and don't.
Well, when you're in the governor's studio,
they're okay.
It's much better.
They're I wouldn't say, no, it's good as well. So what are you trying to say, Jeff? That it's just me. It's just when I do it on my computer from 1997.
I'm trying not to say it. You might want to upgrade your systems a little.
Take offense to this. It wasn't enough to get a Hooters story. It wasn't enough that I now have to watch Gary Coleman and Corey Feldman.
Gary Coleman?
Gary Coleman's actually not with us. That's hard. Corey Feldman. It's not enough I have to watch Corey Feldman starring in everything I watch now for the next
Gary
week.
Coleman.
Anyway, wasn't he?
He might be hard to find.
That's going to be a hard find right there. For myself. For the comedy stylings of Mr. Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. For Steve, whoever knows where he is. Tony, the rest of the Governor's Comedy Club podcast show. Thank you for stopping by and sharing your dinner time hour with us. Don't forget the game's on tonight. If you're interested, 8:30 on CBS. Little college basketball. Have a great week. And we'll see you next Monday, 6:30. Don't forget, check out Stephen R. Kaminsky Instagram. I'll post some race stuff that I did. And we'll see you next Monday, 6:30. Have a great night.
Peace.